This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Yo! Hey, we're doing a show. Yeah, just a show. Yeah. So, everybody probably is aware that Chasing Truth's family everybody in the entire family has COVID, and I was a little bit concerned early on, just demographically, that Scott might have a tougher time, and it turns out he's got the severe COVID. So, yeah, it's he's not in. Scott's her husband. So he is. The doctor sounds optimistic. He's on remdesivir and another drug that's out there, a couple other drugs. So hopefully, I think he seems like a fighter type. Get through it. I mean, it's just it's not good though. It's not a good situation. Don't try to sugarcoat it, but I definitely was encouraged that the doctor seemed like they were optimistic about it. I was talking to Chasing Truth earlier for about, maybe about a half hour ago, for about 35-40 minutes or something. We were just talking about the whole situation. And everybody, I've known her for a long time, so I've always known that she's an anti-vaccine person because she she has a son that has autism, and she attributes that to a vaccine that he got. And she's been like that for a long time. She's not like, nanobots and all that shit, okay? So that's a reality of it. But here's something that should wake up all the rest of you guys who are still not vaccinated, okay? This Delta variant, I heard it when I was playing golf the other day. I was playing golf with a friend of mine, and his neighbor is like a virologist. I mean, some crazy, high-end doctor neighbor. And she said, this Delta variant is scary as shit. Okay, it's not the same as the first one. Okay, and then I was talking to Chasing Truth, and I just kind of kept them. I'm not really, I can't go out and say that, but she was talking to her doctor, the doctor for Scott, and she said they had the whole vaccine conversation. And Chasing Truth's talking about, well, I'm not, I don't have a measles shot, I'm not scared of those, and not scared of these different, and that's because people were so highly vaccinated a long time ago that those are really rare. And the doctor even said, yeah, you shouldn't be nervous about those. This is a quote. You shouldn't be nervous about any of those other vaccines. But if you're not worried about this Delta variant, you're an idiot. Okay? I mean, so then all of a sudden it's like, whoa! Lights turned on. And apparently when they get recovered from this, they're all going to get vaccinated ASAP. So for those of you out there that keep taking it, if I just wash my hands and wear a mask, bullshit, okay? Right now it's absolutely horrendous what's going on out there. So I think, she might even be mentioning this too, because it's such a huge deal, okay? So, I mean, if you've been vaccinated, you're very well protected. You can still catch it. You're very well protected from being severe COVID or even being hospitalized. That's the truth. Yeah, well, you can, happiness is, and you'll always be one, because I just told you something that you need to listen to. Okay? So, if you're not vaccinated, go out and get freaking vaccinated. You don't want to end up like in the position that Scott is in right now. All right? And I don't give a shit if you're one of those people, hey, Gray, don't tell me what... Well, look, I'm telling you to get vaccinated. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's up to you, okay? But I've been trying to tell you how, even before, the first variant was very dangerous. This one is way worse. And not only is it's 6 or 7 times easier to catch, okay, way easier to catch, it's also... apparently, based on what 2 different doctors, I have told 2 people that I directly talked to, so one generation, that it's actually dangerous per case. Not before it was just, oh yeah, well, it's not more dangerous if you get it, it's just that it's easier to catch now. Well, no, it sounds like it's actually worse. It's a worse virus. It's not just the transmission part of it. So that should probably freak people out. I mean, I don't want to get into the 12 monkeys arena anytime soon. Okay. Yeah, and the boosters. I'm going to go as soon as that booster's available. I am going to sprint over there. I'm going to look like one of those maniacs during a shopping spree who's trying to get first in line. Okay, that's what I'm going to be like. Yeah. This one channel always interviews Don Wells, but it's turned into kind of a stupid, I don't mean to disparage it, but it's just turned into some weird prayer vigil show for Don Wells. It's just, I don't know. I mean, there's still some questions that people want answered, and it's weird. I've asked the same question on 3 different shows and nothing. Hey, thank you, Kristen Rose. Appreciate it. Yeah, the new variant is a worse virus per case, and it's way more transmissible. And that's why right now remember how the Pfizer was, 91%? Now it's like 40-something apparently to an Israeli study of catching it. But it's very effective in guarding you against severe COVID disease. I've actually got a printout here. An article. Let me throw this up here. This one's pretty interesting here. Thank you very much, Kristen. That was very, very generous of you. I thought this was pretty interesting. So this should let you know how valuable the vaccine is. Now, some of this data is a little bit pre-Delta variant. I was looking down here at some of the dates here, July 17th. Nothing like right recently, but let's just use this and then maybe say it's a little bit higher, okay? But look at this craziness here. The share of overall COVID-19 cases by those fully vaccinated versus those not fully vaccinated among reporting states. All right, so in Arizona, that's a state where people just don't even wear masks, they walk around. The people that are vaccinated make up 5.9%, and the people that are unvaccinated make up 94.1%. So that means out of 100 people, of the new cases, out of 100, 6 will be the vaccinated people, and they won't almost assuredly not be put in the hospital. But 94 out of those 100 are unvaccinated people. So do you want to be one of those? And then look how low these numbers are for different states. That's the highest one. Oregon, for example, right here is 1.9. So only 2 people out of 100 that catch it are going to be vaccinated people. Well, hey, Jason, you can do whatever the hell you want. You're just being it's dangerous not to get it, okay? you're crazy, Jason. Yeah, you're nuts. Let's see. And then, I mean, are you guys interested in looking at this at all, or? I mean, I don't have to do it. I'm just talking about it right at the beginning of the show here. Oh yeah, hospitalizations. Here we go. So look, this one's really important. So the highest one in Utah, well, not Utah, I think it's up here. In Alaska, out of 100 people hospitalized, 5 are going to be people that are vaccinated, and 95 of those 100 that are actually make it to the hospital are going to be the unvaccinated people. So do you see how valuable it is? Yeah. Yeah. I think what they need to do is figure out really effective treatments. As I think they should throw billions and billions of dollars into treatments, and then just keep modifying a vaccine to keep up with the variants. That's what I would do, because I think the treatment is such a huge deal. They don't really have that thing that you just go, oh, tell you what, inhale this, take this pill, boom, we're done. They don't have anything like that. So, let's see what the lowest one here. Like, look at this one, District of Columbia, Delaware, 0.6. So these are just people that have been reporting. I think the Delta, though, makes these all a little higher for sure. Although it's hard to say because it could just be a lot larger number, and this would be a larger number. So maybe it's 500 out of 50,000 instead of 5 out of a... My math just went away from me right there. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Oregon's crazy. Yeah, but look at that. Only 15 deaths. Before, that would have been a lot larger number. Yeah, Oregon's just shooting through the roof. Let me just show you a basic chart here. Watch this. COVID, Oregon. Just type it in. Watch this. Look at this wild shit right here. And we're we are one of the highest vaccinated states. Look at this chart right here. This was at the height of COVID in December. Then it dropped down, and then it had that little spike, and then it went way down here on June 5th. 0 cases. And then, boom, Delta variant. Look at that. 4380. Well, we're just shooting up like a rocket again. And think how crazy that is. That's even with all the people that are vaccinated. So that means that this is spreading really fast. It's not good. Yeah, I mean, I can put it in different states here, like Alabama. They all look exactly the same. You see that? Boom. Everybody. Arizona. That one's a little bit lower here. I wonder if it's just because it blasted through so many people at one point that they all had a little bit of... Oh, and one of the things that was said was that if you catch COVID, the Delta variant, it only lasts maybe 3 months of protection, where the vaccine is longer. And they're going to have boosters coming up here pretty soon. All right, everybody. So take it as you wish, but you have to say to yourself, if you have somebody that's been an anti-vaxxer and they are going to take it on this virus, there's something going on here. I mean, the lady who talked to her, I don't remember all the phraseology that was used, but it was pretty frightening shit. Let's see. All right. Hey, thank you. Water 1051. Thank you, Michelle Nicholas up there. So what do you guys, anybody want me to look up one on their state? I don't know. I don't want to get too into the weeds here, but like Tennessee, 0.9. So one person out of 100. Out of 100 people that get the coronavirus, 1% are vaccinated people. So it definitely shows you that you're pretty well protected. Here's what I think's going on here, though. I think there's a lot more people catching. Hey, Stephanie. I think there's a lot more people catching the North Carolina was doesn't show up on these lists. I did look that up. I'll look that up in a minute. I think what's going on here is there's a lot of people that have been vaccinated that have the coronavirus. They just are asymptomatic and had no reason to go get tested. And that's exactly why you get vaccinated. All right, let's see. I'll put North Carolina in. North Carolina is just ablaze. It's crazy over there. That's where chasing, you know, in that area is where she's from. So, look at right here. At the height during January, it was 9,528. And now there's a 13,855 new cases. That's absolutely crazy. I think it might be that's 2 days in a row, though. Like they added up Saturday and Sunday and put them on Monday right there. 13,000 cases in a day. Yeah, New England, they're up to... Wow, really? Is that real? 259,000? That's weird. What's going on in New England? I mean, that's ridiculous. Wow. Anyways, every chart looks exactly the same right there. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom. Delta variant. Taking off like a rocket ship. So my advice to you, despite your paranoia, go out and get vaccinated. If you want a milder side effects, I would say that the Pfizer is better, the 2 different shots. If it's the a little bit quite well, it might even be quite a bit more coverage, would be the Moderna shot. That's what it's looking like in some of these articles out there. So that's about 70% apparently from keeping you from catching it, and then Pfizer's like 41, but the booster would probably get you way up there. That would just be from catching it. And then if you catch it, your body will most likely fight it off if you got it. It'll definitely really combat getting into the hospital. Yeah, that's pretty rare there. Un petit. Je ne sais quoi. Yeah, I wear masks every time I go out. I've been doing that the whole time. I don't trust other people. I don't know what they've been doing, or when I golf I don't wear one, obviously, but and they were talking about how, I mean, it's really important to wash your hands, you guys. Just make sure you're still washing your hands all the time. And that might even be the biggest thing. Yeah. Just make sure you're not putting something in your mouth that you just touched. Hey, thanks, Lisa Wilkerson. Yep. Yep, me too, Jen. Yep. Yeah. But man, are you going to be like me when that damn booster comes out? It's just cold sprint to it, start shoving, bam, the linebacker, knock people over like you're going Christmas shopping and trying to get that last television. Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course we wouldn't really be doing that, Kim Harp. Are you kidding? I'm going to definitely get that, though. Man, I want to be as well protected against this as I possibly can. Oh, and by the way, if what I'm saying is really offensive to you about getting vaccinated and you're going to unsubscribe, thank you. You're an idiot. Okay? Now, if you're okay with me saying this, even if you're not into vaccines, thank you. And, you know, even if you're not okay with it, that's fine. Hey, thanks, Salty Vibes. Yeah, I've got that one. Kim Harp. That one went pretty well. Yeah. Yeah, we're not gonna do any Summer Wells stuff tonight. So if you guys want to, bail early, that's great. I got to get over these other cold cases though. But everybody put out some more prayers for. It was really touching over there. She had a show where she was playing religious music, and everybody in the chat was just so nice. Other than the trolls that always seem to show up, even at the like read the room, you idiots. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty. That was pretty cool. Really cool. And Scott was in there chatting. I remember when you had that. Yeah, the new one's a lot worse, Stephanie. It sounds like a lot. It's different. The same treatments that you try to do, but it's making your body fight it. See, it's your own immune system that's creating the issues in your bodies. Like an overreaction to it. It's really weird. I don't understand why anybody's fearful of getting it, to be honest with you. This science has been available for a long time, and it really, everybody, I guess, here's the thing. I was a little bit apprehensive, like you go in there, but it's the people who think there's nanobots and, they're going to use it to track us around the country. Give me a break, okay? Use your brain. Look, if you're one of those people that think there's nanobots and they're tracking you, what the hell are you doing on this channel anyways? Because we do like logic and facts and stuff. It must be really frustrating that I don't bring up those kind of weird sort of thought processes. Yeah, I know what it's called. We've talked about cytokine storm 1,000 times on here. I probably should get my dad or brother on again and talk about the new variant. My dad would probably be better because he's older now and doesn't really care if he says something. Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about it. It was so interesting. What was he talking about? Let me just throw it out there if I can try to remember. He explained it to me once off the air, and then we talked about it again on the show. But look how crazy, how innovative doctors are. Listen to this. Or scientists. So let's see. There's something in our body that we have, like let's say it's a receptor or something. And you want to turn it off or get rid of that, whatever the hell, make sure that it's being attacked so the receptor doesn't go off, but it's our own body. So there's nothing that our body can have that will attack it, right? So you put that receptor into a mouse who doesn't have that receptor. And then these antibodies come in and attack that receptor. Let's just say a molecule instead of receptor. They attack that molecule. And then you take the antibodies from the mice that were attacking that very same molecule and you put that back into the human, and then now you have something that's fighting what would not be a natural thing for your body to have. I mean, anyways, I think that's just crazy. I mean, whoever thought of that? Hey, let me see. Let's take the molecule that's in our own body that we can't really attack because it's our own, and let's put it into a mouse. Then that mouse will develop antibodies that attack that molecule. And then we'll take those antibodies, put them back in the human, and then it'll attack that molecule. I mean, that's pretty crazy, right? Good stuff. Yeah, Johnson & Johnson's really weak compared to the other two, but yeah. Let's see. It's better than nothing, though. I'll tell you that. Johnson & Johnson. I'm sure that can help you keep you from going into the hospital as well. I mean, originally it was like 70%, 95, 95. I don't know what the variant, how that affects Johnson & Johnson. But you know what people are doing? They're getting multiple. People are going out and getting Moderna. They have Pfizer already. They're trying to like get all the coverage. Who are you talking to, Zozo? Well, there's just people doing it. It hasn't been approved yet. They're still studying it, but it doesn't sound like it's something that's out of the realm. Yeah. Well, Moderna's actually has the best coverage. Pfizer is the most tolerable one of the two-shot ones. It's not as the Israeli study shows that it might be like Pfizer is at 41% to keep you from getting the virus, and Moderna is like 70 something, because it's a little bit wider range. I remember I had a conversation, and my brother mentioned that a while back to me. Yeah, and that's another thing too. When you get vaccinated, you basically have to sit at your home for 3 weeks straight. And then after you're ready for your next one, get that shot, and then sit at home for 3 weeks. Then you're able to go out in public. You have to be fully vaccinated. You can't sit around and, oh well, I'm vaccinated. Tomorrow I'm going to go to a concert. That absolutely gives you no protection at all. What are you talking about, Lori? What? Where's the troll? Where's the troll? Where? What are you talking about? Oh, that idiot? Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah, well, it's been known how to do it, killer crimes. People just don't do it. It's too complicated. Too many people. We're too free over here to do contact tracing. But that is how Scott was made aware. A guy that he went to dinner. I mean, look how crazy this is. He just got a new dream job, basically. And then he goes out to dinner. The company took him out to dinner to celebrate him being hired. And then the next day they say, hey, you need to stay at home for a few days. You were sitting right next to a guy that tested positive. And he's just been, this is what's gone on since then. How crazy is that? Thank you, LM and Randy Bradford. Yeah. Yeah, we know Evelyn. We've talked about it many times. Alright guys, I'm going to move off now. I got to get out. I want to do something else. My mind needs to go somewhere else. Oh yeah, what's their vaccine, Susanna? Hey, thanks, Lanky Tor, Baby Brown Bear Cub. I don't know about that. You'd have to prove that one to me, Susanna. Alright, you guys ready to do an actual cold case? Oh, I think this first one is the one that we stumbled across the other night when we were just looking at that database. All right, here we go. So this is Tina Mae Duffell, Oklahoma, 1974, actually. And I think it was October, I think it was right around my birthday, really. But the body of a 38-year-old post office worker who was apparently kidnapped here. Hey, thanks, Pancakes and Ink Twin 9. The body of a 38-year-old post office worker who was apparently kidnapped here Thursday was found in a pond 2.5 miles northwest of here Friday afternoon, Ottawa County officers said. Let's see. Officers said the woman had marks on the throat and chin, and it appeared she had been beaten or stabbed. The body was to be transferred to Tulsa for an autopsy Friday night. Mrs. Tina Duffell's body was found by a volunteer searcher. Officers said the body was clothed when found. Earlier Friday, searchers had found a blood-stained shawl which belonged to Mrs. Duffell and was identified by her husband, Richard Duffell, an employee of B.F. Goodrich. The shawl was found 1 mile south of Quapaw on a county road. Let me see where Quapaw is. Wow. So 1 mile south. So it's not too far away from there. So maybe like right around in that area. I wonder if this is a county road right here. East, maybe not. We'll just put a pin here for now. Body found out here, yep. The shawl was found 1 mile south of Quapaw on a county road, officer said. Miss Duffell, mother of 2 children, was reported missing from the C&B grocery. I wonder if that's still there. C&B grocery. I mean, this is so long ago. Well, that's a market right there. Maybe, let's see what that looks like. Okay, how about... So there's a market there. Yeah, it's hard to really say, but maybe possibly right here. Miss Duffell's mother of 2 children was reported missing from the C&B grocery here at 12:45 p.m. Thursday, and the store's cash register was emptied of an estimated $250, Sheriff something Cleo Wilson said. Miss Duffell was filling in as a clerk in the store Thursday, so she was filling in for somebody else. Duffell said earlier Friday he believed his wife... What are the odds of that, man? You're just filling in and that's the night? Duffell said earlier Friday he believed his wife was kidnapped by whoever robbed the store in the small town of 1,000. Well, yeah, doesn't that make sense? Neighbors reported Thursday seeing a man enter the store shortly before Miss Duffell, who was working alone. So let's see. Reported Thursday seeing a man enter the store shortly before Miss Duffell. So he had a key. Boy, you're taking the place of somebody. They weren't there that day. Did they have a key? Was it maybe somebody that person knew? And they didn't want to be there that day? And then how did you get into the store just before her? She was working alone, turned up missing. He was described as about 6 feet and wearing blue jeans and a white t-shirt, and was reportedly driving a late 60s two-door red Chevrolet sedan. A spokesman for the sheriff's department said Friday, prior to finding the woman's body, that officers had talked to a man fitting the description, and he was a local man who was a regular customer of the store. He was released. And then got a little bit more. He was released. Something questioning. The spokesman said officers were without any suspects. The FBI entered the case Thursday afternoon since it was believed the woman had been kidnapped. Sheriff's deputies and volunteer searchers, numbering around 50 persons, had combed the county's back roads throughout Thursday night and continued with the search Friday. The body was found at around 5 p.m., about 2 hours after the woman's shawl was found. Medical examiner Dr. C.W. Weicker of Miami said co-workers of the missing grocery store clerk made positive on the scene identification of the body. Letcher said the body was submerged in a pond. Listen how crazy this is. She was submerged in a pond and covered with logs. It was a 1 in a million chance they found her. I want to know how that came about. You just happened to look in a pond and see some logs and you moved it and then she floats up there. The medical examiner declined to discuss preliminary indications concerning the cause of death until the autopsy is performed in Tulsa. Duffell said his wife worked at the store only on a part-time basis. She was a regular employee of the Quapaw post office. Duffell said his daughter, Michelle, a 16-year-old high school junior, went by the store to pick up the family's car at 11:45 p.m. Thursday and talked with her mother. Everything was, so this is pretty late at night, everything appeared to be all right at that time, Duffell said. Customers found the store unattended and the cash register empty. Mr. and Mrs. Duffell, their daughter, and his son, Michael, 18, moved to Quapaw, located 12 miles northeast of Miami, 8 years ago. That's weird. I wonder how they found her. I think the allergies are hitting me today again. A special interstate investigation squad has uncovered several promising leads, but no suspects, in the death of a Quapaw woman found in a farm pond. Miss Tina, well, let's see if we can see a pond. That's got to still be there, don't you think? I mean, there's probably a lot of them, but could be right there or one of these. Said it was on a county road. Thanks, happiness is a circular motion, like a little boat upon the sea. Yeah.
Hey, Gray, that was pretty good. What? What are you talking about?
Is she talking to me? Miss Tina Duffell, 38, was found dead in the pond Friday. She had been on the object of a search since Thursday when she was apparently kidnapped from the C&B grocery here. 13 members of the Tri-State Major Case Squad were called in late Friday to help local authorities in the investigation. Detective Lyle Macon said the special squad consists of experienced lawmen from Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. A blood-stained shawl belonging to Miss Duffell was found on a country road south of here only 2 hours before a search party discovered her body. So, that was October 19th, 20. Now we're on to the 22nd. Thanks, Steph May. An autopsy report released Monday on a 38-year-old post office worker whose body was found in a pond near here Friday shows the woman died after being stabbed in the throat. Wow. The autopsy showed numerous incised wounds to the throat area. Lyle McMahon, press officer that's what he said. Members of the squad, which assist law officers in investigation in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, are at Quapaw looking into numerous leads. He declined to elaborate on the leads, but said no suspects had yet been apprehended in the death of Miss Tina Duffell. Her husband, Richard, an employee at B&F Goodrich Company, said the mother of two was believed kidnapped and killed by the robber of a store where Mrs. Duffell was filling in as a clerk Thursday. The cash register of the store was emptied, and an estimated $250 was taken. That's kind of a lot of money back in 1974. It's like when I say a lot, it's like $1,000. All right, then there was like nothing in the paper. Then 5 years later, or not 5 years, 5 months later, that's the sketch of the guy. Two sketches that look absolutely nothing alike. Much like, hey, the Delphi case. All right. Slaying suspect sketches supplied. Composite drawings of the faces of two men sought in the October 17, 1974 slaying of Miss Tina Mac Duffell of Quapaw were supplied Tuesday by Floyd Ingram. Ingram said the drawings were based on the descriptions given by a person who recently offered information about the slaying of Miss Duffell. Her body was discovered in a pond northwest of Quapaw a day after she disappeared from a Quapaw grocery store where she worked as a clerk part-time. She had worked earlier the morning of October 17th at the Quapaw post office. About noon, the grocery store was found to be empty, and her purse, cigarettes, and lighter, and half-consumed bottle of pop were on a store counter. A countywide search for Miss Duffell resulted in the discovery of her body in an old mine mill pond. Probably just there's nobody in that town. It's late at night. The guy was probably easily able to just get her out of there right in the middle. She's just drinking a pop, The drawings are of a man of a heavy build, about 30, with dark brown or black hair combed down over his ears, a heavy growth of hair on his arms, and wearing a gold expansion band wristwatch. They were reported. Wow, that's kind of a lot of detail. Hope that wasn't derived from a hypnotist. Where, let's see, a tall, slender man, about 35, with fair complexion. They were reported. Oh, there's two different people, I guess. Let's see. A heavy growth of hair on his arms and wearing gold expansion band wristwatch. He may wear glasses, and a tall, slender man, about 35, with fair complexion and long hair. So I guess that's two people. They were reportedly seen in a light gray or silver car, mid-size, about 1968 model, with damage to the left rear fender. Sound like they had a lot of information. So then there was a grand jury, a new Ottawa County grand jury called to investigate a slaying and an outbreak of escapes from the Ottawa County Jail in recent months. Richard Duffell of Quapaw circulated petitions for the jury specifically seeking an investigation of the unsolved killing of his wife, Tina Duffell. The petition also called for investigation into the county jail conditions. So that is, her husband is really out there trying to get some stuff done. But I bet you when he was out there trying to get some help, there wasn't somebody right down the street doing voice analysis on him. Jury starting fourth week. Monday marks the start of the fourth week of an Ottawa County grand jury investigation. 80 witnesses have testified so far, including 11 on Friday. Among them was Picker Police Chief Laddell Morgan. The panel was convened to probe the slaying of Tina Duffell, a grocery clerk. So they were really digging into that case. And then October 21st, it says another area probed by grand jury was the unsolved October 1974 slaying of Miss Tina Duffell. After hearing 33 witnesses, the grand jury noted that it was satisfied with the investigation currently being conducted by the Ottawa County Sheriff. During its month of activities, the grand jury handed down 5 indictments and 1 accusation. Indicted were a commerce physician charged with lewd. No, those are a whole bunch of different things. But anyways, they're still looking into it, and then there's nothing. It just disappears from the media for 2 decades. Then 1996, I mean, literally like 22 years later. Well, 21 years. See, I lied. I said literally. I put an ly at the end of literally, and it turns out that it was actually 21, not 22. Oh my God. There's something to it, you guys. Something to it. And then back in 96, police take look at unsolved cases. While Carl, I don't think this is the one that we found the other night. This is just another one that I stumbled across. While Carl Myers sits in jail on suspicion of raping and murdering. Try to do that really quick in your head. While Carl Myers. Try to say that 3 times fast. Man, you can't do it. Don't tell me you can. Try to say while. God, that's brutal. While Carl Myers. Man, say while Carl Myers 3 times fast. You can't do it, man. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm waiting. That's crazy. Oh, man. Seriously. While Carl Myers. It's even hard to just say Carl Myers, but then the while just makes you messed up. Yeah, you can't even do it. It's crazy. All right. So while Carl Myers sits in jail on suspicion of raping and murdering 2 Oklahoma women, investigators in northeastern Oklahoma and northwestern Kansas are looking for ties between Myers and unsolved slaying in their areas. On Wednesday, a district judge ordered Myers held without bond. Let's see. Rogers County Sheriff Buck Johnson said investigators in northeastern Oklahoma and Kansas report similar rapes and slayings that have gone unsolved. He described the 48-year-old moving company worker as being cold and brutal, probably a serial killer type. The only comment he had to us when we arrested him was, "I could lose my job over this." Johnson said Myers was arrested Tuesday after DNA testing linked him to the deaths of Cindy Marzano, 29, and Sean Marie Williams, 22, whose bodies were found years apart but within about 10 miles of Myers. Authorities say he was the last person seen with Miss Marzano, a Broken Arrow acquaintance whose asphyxiated body was found in the Verdigris River on March 15th. The body of Mrs. Williams, who was from Catoosa, was found shot to death on the bank of the Verdigris River in 1993. Semen recovered from the two women led Myers' arrest, Johnson said. District Attorney Gene Haynes said investigators are continuing to search Myers' home and river for other evidence and admitted we're really not at a point where we would like to be. But it came to a point where we could not continue to take the risk of leaving him out on the streets. Johnson said Myers also is considered a suspect in as many as 6 other slayings in Ottawa County. Cherokee County, Kansas Sheriff Sergeant Chuck Sharp said Myers was a suspect in the death of 2 women, Deanna Rowden and Julie Miller, both of Picker, Oklahoma. The women's skeletal remains were found April 1978 in an abandoned mining area near Pitcher on the Kansas side of the border. Here's a second. I think Duffell gets brought up in here. Unless my brain was just in a weird place. Okay, I'm just going to skip down over here. Well, let me go through this whole thing. Rowden partied with Myers at a bar, Sharp said, and he was a friend of Miller's family. Myers was also a suspect but never charged in the death of Charles Enders of Baxter Springs, Kansas, whose body was found in May 1979. Sharp began working with investigators from Rogers County 5 weeks ago when they called him seeking information on Myers. See, right down here it says, but other investigators told a Tulsa newspaper that the Ottawa County case involves Tina Duffell, 38, of Quapaw, whose body was found in a mining pond on October 17, 1974, when Myers also lived in the area. See, that's kind of interesting now, right? So this guy he lived in the area at the same time that she disappeared. In Crawford County, Kansas, Sheriff Sandy Horton said he's interested in Myers in the disappearance of Ginger Hudson. God, this guy just sounds like an absolute monster. Never heard of him. Let me go check out his name. I bet he's on Murderpedia. This is 96, so some things might have been solved since then. Carl Myers. Hold on. Yeah, he's in there. In mid-August 1996, Carl Myers County was apprehended. There, Murderpedia. There we go. Number of victims 2+. Let's see if she shows up in here. No. Yeah, so he's definitely possible. All right, then on 2003. On the actual, just on the web, let me have to answer this question. Let's see. Scientist examines 1974 slang. I gotta go use the facilities really quick. Do you guys mind? I'll be back in a second. Hey, wait a minute. While Gray's away, the dogs will pay. Thanks for the hard work, Gray. Yep, thank you. All right, here we go. We got a. This is from 2003 on the internet, so let's see what this one says. Forensic scientists devoted to solving cold homicide cases across the country are looking into the unsolved murder of an Ottawa County woman in 1974. Thank you, Lee D. The Vidocq Society, holding a national conference in Philadelphia this week, is studying the murder of Tina Duffell. Duffell, 37, disappeared on October 17, 1974. The woman's family and Ottawa County authorities are hoping the Vidocq Society will be able to help 28-year-old after her death. The members of the Vidocq Society have far more expertise than we do, Ottawa County Sheriff Dennis King said. We're hoping they can look at some of the information we've gathered in the Tina Duffell murder and give us some help. This is the Oklahoman. Dick Duffell, Tina's husband, remains hopeful. I have 2 kids, and it's really been a hard on them, he said. It's all just keeps cropping up in our lives, and that makes it very difficult. Let's see. So at least they're looking back into it. It doesn't really say much more about the case there. That's what they were looking into in 2003. And then I found this article from, this is on Oklahoma coldcases.org website. That's her right there. So we actually have a picture of her. 37 years ago, 37-year-old, that other article said 28. I'm not sure why, but 37-year-old Tina Duffell was working at a convenience store in Quapaw when she was abducted on October 17, 1974. She was taken sometime between 11:45 a.m. and noon. The other article I thought said p.m., but her purse, keys, and an open soft drink were found on the counter. About $250 and several cans of beer were found to be missing. Tina's body would be found the next day, submerged in a mining pond northwest So now that's saying northwest? The other one said south, didn't it? Jeez. That's completely opposite of that. Hold on a second. That can't be that opposite. Hold on one second. Did I just read that wrong? Pond 2.5 miles. Oh, it is northwest. I went backwards. Was apparently kidnapped here Thursday. Was found in a pond 2.5 miles northwest of here. That's Quapaw. Okay, so it would have been in the morning. Oh, I see. Okay, alright. Let me go 2.5 miles north. So maybe that road right there. And these look like mining over here, doesn't it? Yeah, definitely looks like some mining going on. Okay, so it's more up there. Hold on. So we'll just say somewhere around in this area. There's a lot of different ponds. There's that one, that one, that one. I mean, there's tons of them. I wouldn't have any idea. Thank you, LM. Alright, so that changes things. So it was just right in the middle of the day. How weird is that? Not at night. Just right in the middle of the day, or lunchtime. What a weird time to abduct somebody. Almost makes you think that she knew the person. I mean, why would you even need to do that? In 2003, at the request of the family, Ottawa County Sheriff reopened the case. During the reinvestigation of the case, the autopsy was re-examined and the original witnesses were re-interviewed. If anything came from the relook of the case, it hasn't been stated publicly. Tina's husband, Richard, said that he believed Tina might have learned something about local drug dealing. I don't know. Shortly before the death, she had apparently written a letter, and sealed it, taking it to the Quapaw postmaster, asking if he could put it in the post office safe and not open it unless something happened to her. Wow, that's weird. However, she went and got the letter before her death, and it has never been found. How does he know that? Though he had been seen showing the letter, she had been seen showing the letter to another woman at a local football game the night before she went missing. The woman came to the Duffell. Okay, so the woman she showed the letter to. Huh? Who are you talking to, Lanky Tour? Butt? Why do you have a butt in the front of that? So here we go. She showed this letter apparently to some woman. Now the woman came to the Duffell house after the murder, according to Richard, and told him about the letter, telling him that if anyone else had seen the woman reading that letter, that she would be the next one to be killed. The woman now denies any knowledge of the letter, saying the only letter Tina had shown her was one Tina had written to the school board. Carl Lee Myers, who killed 2 women in Rogers County, has been suspected in Tina's murder but has never been charged in the murder. At the time Tina was killed, Myers lived in the same area and grew up nearby. At the time of the murder, Tina was married and a mother of 2 teenage children. They have had to live for almost 50 years without justice for their wife and mother. Her husband passed away without knowing what happened to her wife. Her family still grieves. They all deserve justice. And this is an article from just a few days ago. OSBI offers a reward of in 1974 cold case.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is offering a reward for anyone who can give them information to help solve a 47-year-old cold case. The reward is $10,000. The case is the 1974 murder of Tina Mae Duffell. Duffell was found dead in Prairie Dog Pond, a half-mile northwest of Quapaw, Oklahoma. Investigators believe Duffell was either abducted or left with someone from the C&D grocery store in Quapaw, where she was working at the time of her murder. The autopsy revealed she had stab wounds to her neck. Anyone with information is asked to contact the OSBI.
In Prairie Dog, well, let's see where that is. That might have a specific, looks like a specific name at this point. Okay, here we go. Nope. Quapaw. How about... Darn it. It looked like that would have been something in Prairie Dog Pond. It's about a half-mile northwest of Quapaw. So now it's only a half-mile northwest. How about ponds near Quapaw? Forget it. Yeah. Anyways, so there you go, everybody. They're still looking at it. Old case, of course. Very old, very old. All right. Well, almost about to go on to the new one, but I almost need a drink. Today's been kind of stressful. What do you guys think? Yeah, I should look into this. I should look into this. I should look into that. If you have a suggestion, just send me an email. Yeah, I get like 1,000 of those. And they always put it in the chat, and I never see them again. So if you want me to even have a chance at looking at something, send me an email. All right. Oh, weird. I got you can see my little outline. My green screen isn't working that great. Yeah, I'm gonna go get one. Well, there you go, everybody. A little, there we go. Hey, you guys, this is the time where you're supposed to help support the channel so we can keep building and moving at the end of the month. You know, on my vacation where you buy me drinks. You know how it goes. I can just get right back to the cases, I guess. That's okay. Huh? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Nobody bought me a drink? Yeah, I did. What case was that, Christina? I don't even remember now. Yeah, right now we're about like at 50%, no, 60% of a normal night. I'm having myself a... What's going on with my background here? It's weird. Hold on. Maybe that'll work. Is that better? Let's see. That was a little better. Yeah, there we go. A little slower, but... Thank you, Jessica Schubach, Michelle Niklaus, Lori Fisher, Only Oscars. Are you talking about the fish? I like those fish. Thank you, Amber Maiden. Drinks. Look at that. This is just drinks. Amber Maiden just got me some drinks. I can have whatever. Just like my show title, a show. Yeah. I think my wording was off. Nobody, you know. Hello, yeah. Oh, you want to hear something? I'll tell you something crazy about those Oscars, man. I had one of those Oscars, the fish called an Oscar. And you can feed them little goldfish right out of your hand. They'll just come up and grab it. And one time, I had like a 10-gallon tank, and it got to be about like this big, you know. And I held a fish out. Chewbacca. Thank you, Amber Maiden.
Drinks.
I held a goldfish, and it jumped up to grab it, and then it fell out of the fish tank. It was high up too. Hit the desk and then the floor. And then I put him back in the tank, and he just immediately ate the fish. Like, he didn't even care that he just fell 10 stories, basically. Thank you, Jen H. And he had a little crook in his tail, right? Well, I saw that he was getting too big, so I sold him to the pet store. And then I went back to the pet store a year later, and he was in this... I could see him in there. He had the same crook in his tail, but he was like that... He was like over a foot long. I mean, he was huge, because he was in this really big tank. Weird, huh? Absolutely incredible story right there. It's right up there with in the fraternity that I was in, unfortunately. When we went down into the chapter room, looked like there was this big rubber spider on one of the benches down there, and I walk over to it, and it turns out it was a Mexican red-leg tarantula. And it was sitting down there, and it turns out somebody had lost their tarantula 2 years before. So that means that sucker was down there, like, living and eating on stuff. For 2 years in that damn place. Good times, good times. Thank you, everybody, for the mini vacation there. Yeah, so what I do is I collected it, put it into a bucket, and then I sold it to the pet store. Same pet store again. I think they gave me like, I don't know, $10 or something. Yeah. F that. And a minute ago I worded it wrong. Nobody's supposed to do anything on here. This is just what I meant to say. This section is supposed to be for sort of a mini channel fundraiser moment where you can buy me drinks and whatnot, and we just bullshit, and then we raise funds for my channel and the charities at the end of the month. I know it's people type in, oh well, hey, why don't they just donate right to the charities? Well, they could. I mean, people have the option to do that, but people are helping my channel out because I do shows every single night of the week, and if I didn't have any kind of compensation at all, I wouldn't be able to do it. Spend this many hours doing the show.
Gray, whatever happened with that case near you, the person Woods? Mom who
Huh?
got PHN given to her.
You talking about
kids,
Allison
Taylor's house,
Watterson?
etc.
Mom who got phone given. Oh yeah. They found her body. It was months later, right near the area. See, this is a case that you got. If you look at the Allison Watterson case, she goes missing on this road, and she's with her boyfriend, and it's just the most slimy, shitty story you've ever seen. But her body was found 6 months later under some blackberry bushes not far from where she went missing from. And it just shows you that the tracking dogs sucked on that case. They just couldn't, they didn't do what they were supposed to be doing. And I know Susanna's out there, oh, well, it was probably, they didn't find her. They said they looked everywhere and they didn't find her, but she was there. She was pretty well skeletonized when they found her, just a skull and some. But it was weird. I actually have that on video, the location of where she was found. Yeah, I used to drive out there, and I had my drone flying up in the air. You know what's crazy? I'll show you that really quick on that. All right, thank you guys. I'll get out of the vacation mode now. All right, so Allison Watterson. I mean, it's just a crazy case. I mean, I got so many. Look how much stuff's going on here on this one. So this is where I flew my drone. I actually figured out that you can actually load your. Look how wild that is. You can load your drone information into Google Earth, and it actually plots out exactly where it flew. So that's where I flew it, and then it turns out she was found right here later. But there was another date. I wish I could go find that. Man, that would show you. I actually flew my drone. I drove to right here and flew my drone right around like this. That was so close. But you wouldn't have seen her at all because when you zoom in, she was found right underneath this tree right here. This is me walking around. So this is actually, I have this software program right here. That's a GPS software. And you can just turn it on and hit the record button, and it shows you exactly, it'll plot out all your locations. Like every 10 seconds, it'll put another pin or something. And this is exactly where this lady, she had us get out. I turned my phone on right there. She had mowed down this whole area. This was all blackberry bushes. She went in there and mowed it down, and during that found her skull right there. But she'd only gone missing from right here. And this is where a party she went to, and they never found her. It's like they just found her because this lady was mowing her property. It still seems like it was really something's not quite right on that case. So, anyways, yeah. So look at all this stuff. I actually drove way up here into the mountains, and that's another one of my little just random drone flights up there. I drove way up. It's really pretty up there. It's crazy, like logging roads and whatnot. Yeah. And see, doesn't some of that stuff still bother you? where her backpack was. You guys remember that? Remember her backpack was found right here in the middle of this field. They dropped off a pickup truck over here. I think they actually wandered through the woods here. But I'm saying actually, so I must be lying. But I think they walked through the woods like this. Got to this road somehow, threw her backpack up there. And then remember they went to this house up here. And they made a phone call to their grandmother. And then the grandmother came out. She said that they looked really dirty. The lady that lives here said they looked really dirty and scared. And they were hiding behind a truck. Like almost hiding from somebody. And then the grandmother got called and she came out. And then she drove all the way up and down a couple times. Right past here. And apparently Ben, the boyfriend, saw the grandmother driving but didn't want to go to the car. So it makes you wonder again. Maybe meth paranoia, who the hell knows. And then apparently they made it to right here, then that's where they separated. And then eventually, months later, her body was found underneath some blackberry bushes right there. That was a weird one, huh? Really strange case. And if you missed it, too bad, because that was some interesting times. Especially the guy, remember the weirdo that was taking down the posters for Allison? I remember driving on this road right here. And then this one's the one right here is where he removed a poster caught on trail camera. And he lived right here. The guy that was taking down the posters. Seemed kind of odd. Well, you weren't around at the time. This account. So a lot of people have been here for a long time. Alright, ready? Move on to the next one now. I think this is the one that we found. Missouri, right? That makes sense. This one might be pretty long. Let me see if the other one's shorter, then we'll try to get to that one last. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see what this one is. Okay, let's do this one next. Okay, this case is Sonia Carmen Herok Stone. That's her name. Woman slain in her home near Carmel. A 30-year-old woman was found slain just inside the front door of her home in Carmel Point at about noon Thursday. The victim, Sonia Carmen Herok Stone, this is 1981. Now we actually have the address, so that's good. Oh, there goes my stomach. Okay, here we go. 26363 Rio Avenue. Is that Carmel Point? Yeah, that's gotta be it. Yep. Wow, that's like a mansion there. Wow, what a cool looking house that is. The victim, Sonia Carmen Herok Stone of 26363 Rio Avenue, was the victim of an apparent strangulation, according to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department and Coroner's Office. Herok Stone's partially clothed body was discovered in the living room of her home by a friend. No one has been arrested, and there are no suspects, a Sheriff's Department spokesman said. Montgomery County Coroner Harvey Hilbin said there were some signs of a struggle. Her body was sent to the San Francisco Coroner's Office for an autopsy and testing. The autopsy is scheduled for today, Hilbin said. Sheriff investigators are trying to determine if Herok Stone was also the victim of a robbery. Herok Stone has lived on Rio Avenue home with her 4-year-old, had lived with her 4-year-old daughter. So that was October 16th. That other case was October 17th. This is the 20th. Murder victim was strangled, coroner says. Sonia Carmen Herok Stone, the 30-year-old Carmel woman who was found dead in her home Thursday, died of strangulation. An autopsy revealed that she died in the morning hours of October 15th. Her partially clothed body was found in her living room later that day by a friend. The Monterey County Sheriff's Department is still investigating the slaying. I wonder if she had like breakfast food in her stomach. Alright, then about 2 months later, didn't seem like they didn't keep covering it right at that time. Carmel Point man booked in slaying. Sheriff investigators arrested a 26-year-old man Friday as a suspect in the October 15th slaying of a Carmel Point woman. The suspect, Michael Scott Glazebrook, also lived at Carmel Point. He is charged with the slaying of Sonia Carmen Herok. A friend found Herok Stone's partially nude body lying just inside the front door of her Rio Road home shortly after noon on October 15th. Results of an autopsy indicated she had been strangled. Glazebrook was arrested at 1:30 p.m. Friday and is being held without bail at Montgomery County Jail. Alright, then, gosh, I don't know, 2 months later, almost 3, sheriff investigators arrested a 26-year-old man Friday as a suspect in the October 15th slaying. Actually, no, that's the same. I have it listed wrong. Same article. Never mind. Alright, then about, 7 months later. No, actually, hold on. Let me click on that again. It didn't open the one that I wanted to. Come on. There it is. The trial of a Pacific Grove man accused of the strangulation slaying of a Carmel Point woman was continued, meaning it's been pushed out, to April 11th at a hearing Thursday in Monterey County. The trial of Michael Scott Glazebrook, 26, was delayed after his attorney requested additional time to interview witnesses. Glazebrook is accused of murder in connection with the October 15, 1981 strangulation death of 26-year-old Sonia Carmen Stone. Glazebrook was a neighbor of Herok Stone who was living on Rio Avenue in Carmel Point. At Thursday's hearing, defense attorney Joe Siegel told the court that many of the witnesses were living out of town, some as far away as Washington, D.C. In his motion for a continuance, he cited a time lapse of 9.5 months between the crime and the appointment of the public defender. Alright, so yeah, that. Then expert witnesses disagree in hearing for suspect. 2 state medical experts gave contradictory testimony Monday in Monterey Municipal Court. Glazebrook lived across the street from the victim. That's kind of funny because that's similar to that one Wilma Ball, right? Kings County Circuit Judge Carlos Baker presided as Deputy District Attorney Robert Moody and Glazebrook attorney, Deputy Public Defender John Siegel, questioned Bay Area pathologist. Forensic serologist Dr. Edward Blake of Emeryville testified that he found no indication of sexual assault. Blake, considered an expert in the field of biological fluids, examined samples of blood, semen, and urine from the victim and Glazebrook. Dr. Boyd Stevens, coroner and chief medical examiner for San Francisco, said bruises on the victim indicated that she was sexually assaulted. Moody introduced Stevens as an expert in the field of reconstruction of sexual assault scenes. Stevens' testimony was scheduled to continue today. Earlier, Moody brought Caroline McBride, a friend of the victim, to the stand. McBride, who discovered the victim's body, testified that she was a confidant of the slain woman. The victim did not know Glazebrook, according to McBride. So it's a complete stranger. So I'm just going through what was in the paper back then, you guys, in order. Witness impeached, admonished. Deputy District Attorney Robert Moody impeached his key witness Wednesday during a preliminary hearing for Michael Scott Glazebrook. Surprised by the testimony of witness Michelle Wilson, Moody called Sheriff Detective J.T. James and Linz Dorman to the stand to try to discredit her statement. Both men present at interviews with Wilson said the witness related conversations with Glazebrook, placing him in the vicinity, in the victim's home, the day of the slaying. Earlier, Wilson had taken the stand to deny saying the defendant told her that he was in the home of the slain woman, Sonia Carmen Herok Stone. She said she became really confused when the detective fired questions at her, making her feel that she was in the hot seat. That's what they do, by the way. At the outset of Wednesday's session, Moody had requested that Circuit Judge Carlos Baker admonish the witness, reminding her that she was under oath. Wilson, informed of the request, asked to be allowed to contact her attorney before continuing. Moody, who had made a request in court chambers to Deputy Public Defender John Siegel, had advised the witness of a fact that's not true. He told her that I'm going to prosecute. That's absolutely false. I asked the court to simply admonish the witness. So anyways, it continued, and then it does continue. There's the next one, article is 2 days later, which would have been Friday because it's in the Saturday paper. And Glazebrook bound over for trial, charged with the 1981 strangulation slaying of a Carmel Point woman, is scheduled to be arraigned in Superior Court December 1st. So anyways, it's just kind of moving on through the courts. This one doesn't have to be a long version. Judge, if you lie under oath, yeah, well, it's called perjury, Zozo. Yeah, you can't lie under oath. And also when the FBI interviews you, you're always under oath. Michael Scott Glazebrook, 26, was arraigned Thursday before Monterey County Superior Court. He's charged with murder, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now we're moving 3 months later. Almost 3 months. Murder trial continued, so again it's delayed. Just like there always are. But the judge declined to drop the murder charge. Although Monterey County Superior Court Judge Maurice Jourdain expressed doubt as to the defendant's guilt, he refused Friday to dismiss a murder charge against a Pacific Grove man who was accused of strangulation slaying of a Carmel Point woman. And that's who we're talking about. So the judge decided, even though he wasn't, he actually had doubt in it, right? And then 6 months later, It's a really cool house. Glazebrook to face second murder trial. Because apparently they dropped the charges at one point. So there you go. He's going to face it again. Then in October, I think it was a hung jury on the first one. I didn't find that article. 1983, judge quashes evidence. Now I want to see what this part is here. So, what did they remove? Evidence against suspect in the 2-year-old slaying of a Carmel Point woman was again suppressed in a ruling by Judge E.J. Leach in Monterey County Superior Court. The decision makes Leach the 4th judge within a year to throw into question evidence against 27-year-old Michael Scott Glazebrook. In his decision Friday, Leach said the questioning of Glazebrook in connection with the October 15, 1981 strangulation slaying of Sonia Carmen Herok Stone was conducted during an arrest primarily for illegal purposes. Glazebrook was a neighbor of the victim. Leach upheld a lower court decision to suppress statements made by Glazebrook to a former FBI agent and blood sample taken from the suspect at the time of the arrest that was both legal and illegal. He also granted a defense motion to suppress further statements made during Glazebrook's transportation to Salinas and clothing seized when the Pacific Grove man was outfitted with a county jail jumpsuit. Following a second preliminary hearing in the case, visiting Judge Bernard McCullough suppressed certain evidence, but Deputy District Attorney Robert Moody appealed that decision. So anyways, he's just probably really important stuff they just keep removing from the case. You know, can't use that, can't probably, like pretty much like in the Molly Tibbetts case, you know how they wouldn't allow some of the statements made. Jury selection is underway. This is we're almost into 1984 at this point. But it's November, so that was November 15th, November 17th, 1983. Testimony begins in the murder trial. One neighbor said Glazebrook's green pickup truck was gone from the front of his house at the time authorities believe Stone died. Another neighbor said he saw Glazebrook drive away at mid-morning on the day Stone died. Peter Hammond, an owner of the Mission Ranch in Carmel, said Stone was with him at his business until 10:15 or 10:45. The neighbors were among the first witnesses called by Deputy District Attorney Robert Moody, who contends that Glazebrook killed Stone while trying to rape her. One of Stone's friends found her body at noon. During an opening statement, Moody focused on the credentials of experts scheduled to testify. He described a sexual assault scene that would be verified by a forensic expert rather than physical evidence. Moody emphasized a scratch on Glazebrook's face that investigators saw the day following the slaying. Glazebrook was nervous and told conflicting stories about the scratch. Moody suggested that the scratch was a result of Stone's attempt to fight off her assailant. Blood was found under one of her fingernails. A test indicated the blood did not belong to the victim, he said. Dr. Robert Cushing, an emergency room physician at Community Hospital of the Monterey Peninsula, testified that the lacerations on Glazebrook's face was not consistent with a scratch from a fingernail. Moody also told jurors that a key witness would recant her testimony, but sheriff reports would verify her initial statements to investigators. Michelle Wilson told sheriff investigators Linz Dorman that Glazebrook claimed to be the victim's in the victim's home on the morning of the killing. However, at both preliminary hearings in the case, Wilson denied making the statement. Defense attorney Richard Rosen, who made an issue of Dorman's notes before the trial began, questioned each witness as to discrepancies. So anyways, that's the first day of trial, and then the next day, what's going on there? Credibility of reports, witnesses questioned. So, you know, there's a lot of problems going on here. I'm just going to get to this last part here. Hold on a second. Let's see what happens on November 29th. Hold on. Jury expected to receive Glazebrook case. Right, so this is on the 29th. And then I think, you know, pretty cleverly, I think the prosecution was like, yeah, I don't know about this. So the charges are dismissed. Okay, so I think that means that you can still charge somebody. As long as the jury doesn't give a verdict, I think the prosecution can drop charges and then later, you know, prosecute the person again, which is kind of weird. Seems like you're right on the verge of double jeopardy at that point. So the case against Michael Scott Glazebrook, 27, was dropped for the second time and last time at a hearing in Monterey County Superior Court. Later, a relieved Glazebrook told reporters that he was not surprised at the outcome. I felt from the very beginning that I was wrongly accused. Glazebrook was accused of killing Sonia Carmen Herok. The victim was strangled in her Carmel Point home on October 15th, 1981. Okay, well, here we go. This is yesterday. Arrest made in 40-year-old Carmel case.
Evening, our top story tonight, the defendant in a 1980s murder trial is now back in jail tonight after walking away free years ago because of a hung jury. Now investigators say they have new evidence to convict him. Thanks for being here for KION News at 6. I'm Veronica Macias.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Michael Scott
That was him the whole time.
Glazebrook is once again at the center of a cold case in the murder of a Carmel woman. KION's Jonathan Saravia joins us now with more on his second stint here in court for the murder of Sonia Stone.
Veronica Glazebrook appeared in court today for his arraignment and was appointed a public defender. Glazebrook pled not guilty to the charge on first-degree murder for the death of Sonia Stone. Michael Scott Glazebrook lived his normal life in Seaside and was a school bus driver for the Salinas Unified High School District. But on Saturday, the Monterey County Sheriff's Office arrested him for a homicide from the early 80s. He is charged with the murder of Sonia Stone, a single mother who was his neighbor at the time, leaving many residents, including students, in disbelief.
That is very unsafe for your kids to be riding a bus with them.
You know what? He changed. Why should he be punished?
Went to trial on the same charges back in 1983, but the jury was divided and could not come up with a verdict. It wasn't until
I'm glad they
last year
dropped it.
investigators reopened this case, knowing the possibilities of advanced DNA testing.
Certainly the status of forensics has improved drastically between 1983 and 2021. That is going to be an important part of the case that we have built against this suspect.
Investigators say it was a new DNA sample that connected Glazebrook to the case once
So he was
again.
only 21 years old at the time.
Always satisfaction when you get a positive match like that. Just, you know, bring a sense of justice to the family. Stone's 44-year-old daughter was notified after the arrest, and needless to say,
I don't think he
was,
changed at all.
Overcome with happiness.
Glazebrook.
Yeah, none of these people change at all, Debbie. They're all barbarians. They just pretend that they changed. They try to hide who they were. They didn't change.
Is now
I don't believe in any of that
old
shit.
and has been identified as a bus driver for the Salinas Unified High School District and a football coach. The Salinas Unified School District responded to the allegations, saying in part, "The safety and security of our students is top priority. Once we were notified of the arrest, we began
I bet in 2018 he goes, here we go.
the process to place Mr. Glazebrook on administrative leave." The Monterey County Sheriff's Office says despite this being a 40-year-old case, they are still asking the public to contact them if there is any other information known about the case. Veronica, back to you.
See, this is kind of like the reverse of the prosecutors who charged somebody falsely. Like, they had the guy, and then all the tricks were used in the book to keep the evidence that would have made a jury go, oh yeah, he's guilty, so for 40 years he got to be roaming the streets out there. The barbarian. Yeah. Wild, huh? Yeah, so that was kind of cool. That was one I was sent that by Jules, just the article we just read, so I went back in time and then got all the different articles that were out there over the years. And then after that trial in 83, it just nothing. So it's amazing that 83, you've got 17, almost 30 years later, he gets nailed. And only because they dropped the charges right before the verdict. Yep. Okay, so now we're on to the Shirley Jane Rose. This is the one that I think we stumbled upon that one night when I was using that database. And then I said, this one looks a little too much stuff going on to just sort of drop it. But actually, you know what? I think it's so long. This is like, look how big this one is. You know, it has all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these in order. So I don't know. I might just keep those for another night or something like that. I think I'll just do that like tomorrow. Maybe just have that be its first thing and then go over to something else. But what we could do, if you want. Oops, shoot. Yeah, it's a pretty big one. I'm kind of tired, actually. It's been a long day, just mentally, you know. But we could do a couple of these cold case searches. You know, you send in your all the stuff that you want on here on a super chat, and we'll put them in there, and we'll see what cases pop up. Right, so you got the victim name, the victim gender. Probably just need to put like the city, state, and gender. Man, they should really put as much stuff in these databases as they can. Yeah, I'm just kind of tired. Well, I was just, you know, all that stuff with the... it's kind of draining, because I've known Scott, Scott on the Chasing Truth, her husband. He's come on my channel and sent in a bunch of super chats, and all of us have been friends for, I don't know, at least 4 years. That just kind of sucks, One of the things that really sucks for me is how, Chasing Truth and, she has a real name, but, and Scott, how well they get, they're just like, they're hilarious how they get along. So it's kind of hard to, see him in such a precarious situation. But yeah, I guess I could just make it like a shorter night. We never made it to our goal, our normal nightly goal, but that's okay. Every night doesn't have to be the same. Int. See my int. Go see my int. I don't even know what that means. All right, will do, will do. And unfortunately, wait, they might have fixed it. They said that they told me that they fixed the issue with. I'll just say the whole thing. I know what the term is. Hey, thanks, Jen Richards and John France. Yeah, we're on a good pace this month. As far as the channel revenue and so forth. So if we can donate another 3,500 total or so, that'd be pretty awesome. Hey, thank you, Nicole Wilson, Christy B, and Lee D. I am interested in looking at that case that I didn't cover it tonight, though. That one looks pretty cool. Interesting. The Generous Freaks. Yep, here we go. Yeah, you guys always make it happen every single night. You guys are the best. Even when I'm not at the top of my game. Alright, does it work now? Oh, it worked. They fixed it. That's funny. They fixed that bug finally. Idiots. Yeah. Why would that ever have been a bug? Hey, thank you, Carolina Girl. So if you're just here late, if you haven't been vaccinated, make sure to get vaccinated. And it's pretty serious when, like I was saying before, Chasing Truth's always been an anti-vaxxer type. And she's been that way for a long time, so it's not like, oh, wow, she has her reasons for it. But she was at the doctor, and the doctor told her that, they were just arguing back and forth about different things, and she said, well, I don't want to get my, I don't need the measles, I don't need this one. She goes, yeah, you're right, you don't need those vaccines. But if you don't get a vaccine on this Delta virus variant, you're an idiot. That's what the doctor told her. Okay, so at that point she went, oh, wow, kind of hit home. So I think, when they get recovered from this, they're going to have to go get their vaccines probably 10 days after they test negative. Yeah, it changed her mind. Yes, it did. That's how bad it is. So when you think about it like that, just realize that you guys that haven't taken it, it actually convinced somebody who is absolutely, an anti-vaccine person. Scott was going to get his. He was going to get one. But this Delta variant is not the same as the first wave that went through. So unfortunately, it's a little bit like the 1918 deal where it came back the second time was worse. And so hopefully, I don't know, they just need to come up with treatments, everybody. That's it. The treatments are the key. They need to come up with things that just work every single time. Really well. So, one for Gray and the rest for Charity and Scott. Boom. $1. Well, it all just goes to a pool that I have. If you want to send the other 19 to a charity somewhere, you'll have to do it. But the way it works on my channel is I donate about 40 to 45 to 50% maybe of the channel revenue after the taxes to those charities. That's why we've been able to do 26,500 to charities this year. Crime-related charities. Yeah. But thank you. Georgians are in bad shape, yeah. But, yep. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah, well, Eliza, go get vaccinated. Don't waste time. It doesn't. You might feel a little weird for a day, and then boom, you're back to normal again. Okay? I don't want to see anybody get sick out there. I was always nervous about this with Chasing Truth, and then the whole time I would go on there and say, hey, I was vaccinated. You know, I would get flipper crap and everything. And now we're in this crazy situation. Alright, so hold on a second.
Sounds kind of muffled. Kristen Rose, Michelle Nicholas, Sarah Wood, Water 1051, Lisa Wilkerson, LM, Randy Bradford, Lanky Thor, Baby Brown Bear Cub, Ham Cakes, Ink Twin 9, Steph May, Jen Richards, Lee D, LM, Liver J, Jessica Schubach, Michelle Nicholas, Lori Fisher, Only Oscars, Amber Maiden, Ollie, Francine Smith, Cheryl Curtis, Carolina Girl, Jen H, Happiness Is, Lee D, Jen Richards, John France, Nicole Wilson, Christy D, Lee D, and Jen Richards again.
Hey, didn't that audio sound a little bit muffled or something like that? It sounded kind of weird. In my ears, anyways. Hey, thank you. Matt Pavia. Appreciate it. Alright, I think we got up, almost got up to, let's see, hold on. Oh yeah, got back right to a normal night. Thank you guys, man, right at the end there. That's crazy. Yeah, they're gonna, I think things are, it's really, this Delta variant's picking up like a rocket ship. It's crazy. It's, but, you know, there might be a point where we just have to say, wow, you know. Do we just keep destroying the economy and everything over and over and over and over again? I don't know. I just think they need to come up with treatments that really work. And consistently work. And if you go to the doctor and you say, hey, I've got COVID, they give you, like, why not give everybody remdesivir or something just right off the bat? Just to kind of, you know, why do you need to wait till it gets bad and then you can give it to them? It's weird. I don't get stuff like that. Just make more of that shit. Yes. So, anyways, thank you guys very much. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do an old school flyby tonight. Okay, where is this thing? Is that it? feel like I just want to do the... There it is. Oh yeah, back here. How about that? And it's a song called Furious Freaks. Hey, Baz B. I don't know what that means. What the hell is this? I don't know what the hell is this means. I don't even know what that means at all. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, I know what it was. The damn audio was... The system audio was turned down. Okay, anyways, yeah, we got that. So there you go, everybody. Thank you all for showing up tonight, and I really appreciate it. And, you know, let's all just try to be safe. We got to get rid of this thing. This virus is driving me nuts. And, I don't know. I got through 2 stories tonight. Didn't have a lot of mojo on there, but hey, at least we got through 2 of those. We'll do the other one tomorrow, unless something else comes up, but I do have that one. And that's it, everybody. So thank you all for showing up tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and definitely, as I always say, be safe out there and get your damn shots, okay? Boom. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Full deflector, interceptor. Then I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I'm a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda. Shut up, Mary. I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. I'll do this one. There we go. Hey! All right. Thanks, everybody, for showing up tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. We're keeping on trucking. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. And everybody put out some prayers for Scott, Chasing Truth's husband. He's in a pretty bad place right now, but he was in the chat of the show that she did earlier, which was cool. And the doctor sounded, positive. So hopefully he gets out of that. All right. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.